Hello everybody, welcome back to my television review series. Today we'll be discussing Snowfall Season 5. So I believe this is an FX original that I just finished watching on Hulu. Again, I have obviously watched Season 1 through 4, did not review them on individual videos, gave you some overview of my crime comparison. So you know what we'll be doing here, give you my overall impressions and grade. We'll be talking about, and if you have not seen the season and would like to see the season, after the impressions and grade, you're going to turn off the video because we'll be discussing the plot synopsis and character development as best as I can remember it. Did not write anything down. We'll be discussing major themes. And so we had, let's get the overview. Let's get some overview for Snowfall. It's basically just a kind of detailing the early days of the crack epidemic. We got the crack rock out of Little Rock, right, Bill Clinton? Fuck is the overview on the shit? Snowfall overview. I just want to read their overview. But does Google ever work properly? Absolutely not. Why is this one not coming up? Okay, so it says Snowfall is a drama set against the infancy of the crack cocaine epidemic in Los Angeles and its ultimate radical impact on the culture as we know it. So again, I always like to read whoever wrote the show, how do they describe it. But is Google working today? No. Does anything work at any point in the day now? So I didn't grade the first seasons. Like this one, I think it does the characterizations I think are a little overdone in a good way. Like Jerome saying his outfits I think are absolutely fucking awesome throughout this season, and just the dress. So again, obviously, set in the 80s, but I think the characterizations and like the tonality of the filming, just the mood you get from watching it, it's a little more. You just got a little flavor to it for me. So again, I definitely liked this one. I'll get to it in the plot synopsis, but there was one episode that was just kind of off-putting, just for entertainment value reasons. So I don't know what I would have given the first 4 seasons. I haven't watched them in a while, but again, just a crime drama, bad guys, good guys, dirty cops, CIA, crack dealers, and again, I like the mood of this one in respects to all the other crime dramas I watch as well. So I will give it a B+. I really think the finale, I think it's set up well. It has been renewed for season 6. So, again, another one, very similar to Mayans in terms of the grading. Like I said, it definitely has a different kind of tone in direct comparison to Mayans. But overall, this one probably wouldn't have been bumped up to the A range. Season 6 might, because I think, again, good plot development in the season finale. But this one I think is a solid B+, whereas Mayans could have eked up to the A-. But certainly definitely liked it. I think Franklin saying the actors very convincing. A lot of the actors in here are convincing. I like Franklin, I like Jerome, like Louis, like Gustavo. Yeah, I like most of the characters in this one. No one's really super off-putting. Wanda's character was a little off-putting when she was on the rock back in a couple seasons ago, but she's clean this season, so no one really off-putting or off-putting relationships that really stuck out as opposed to Mayans, though, which we discussed last time. So, if you have not seen the episode or the season and would like to watch it, shut off this video now. We'll be discussing plot synopsis. So the season opens up, again, at this point, Franklin is the established crack dealer in Los Angeles, and basically just doing power plays, just running a drug empire. That's kind of your background thing. So at the end of season 4, I believe, you have Franklin Saint, who's the street dealer, the supplier, the big supplier. You have Teddy, who in the previous season was called Reed, the Theodore. He is the CIA contact who's basically funneling in a bunch of cocaine to finance Contras in this country over here and that country over here for good old America. Crack rock out of Little Rock with Bill Clinton type shit. And so he's with Gustavo. I forget where Gustavo came from, like, in the show, like how he got hooked up with Teddy. But Teddy's a CIA, Gustavo works with Teddy, but he's not really anything. He's not with Franklin, he's not, part of the CIA, he's just a CIA asset. And so Teddy goes away, and so they have this other contact And so Franklin starts off the season by negotiating down. He gets a cheaper price for the kilos, and then basically within a couple, probably by episode 3, Teddy comes back into the picture, getting some politics stuff, and that the CIA, the government side of the career chasing government side is never anything for me on any of these shows. But he has some sort of plot development there where he gets back in. He's got a higher up CIA guy that lets him do this and does that. But so Franklin negotiates a lower price. Teddy comes back into the picture and kills that guy. So that guy was taken out pretty quick. I don't even have him up here. I don't remember his name. But that happens. Jerome and Louis, they at the end of season 4, they decided to break off and go on their own. And so you have Louis and Jerome buying cocaine from Franklin at the beginning of the season and selling on their own. They kill a guy named White. I think they call him White Boy Rob, but just a White Rob or something. Because one of the dealers from the previous seasons, him and his friend are at some party, again one of the opening episodes, and someone's invites themselves to do some of their cocaine. The skinny white dude gets all offended and shoots the dude at the party. So that dude has to go on the run. He's friends with White Rob. White Rob is addicted to crack cocaine or using this season. And so Franklin has White Boy Rob go kill his friend that shot the dude at the party. And then as they're burying that body, Franklin kills White Rob for using crack rock. Originally, Franklin says, after we whack this dude, Rob, you're going to go away to rehab and get clean. Rob's like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And then Franklin sees him using again and just shoots him anyway. So White Boy Rob is taken out of the picture pretty quick. Again, the overall plot, this season, Franklin has a girlfriend, V. Again, the actresses to the characters on the show, I literally stopped watching the show and I can't compare them to who's who. But the main character for the girlfriend for Franklin's saying she is pregnant this season. So again, the real plot development, and I just like the entertainment value of this gang going against this gang, this guy going shooting up that guy, just the plot development like that. But the overall thing is, Franklin Saint's girlfriend gets pregnant, and now he's gonna fight for the life they've always had. So again, the average viewer is like, oh wow, this. I think at the peak. We'll get to it, but he accumulates a little over $70 million. And so your average viewer is like, wow, that's a lot of money. And it's just like, go start a business. So it's like, I just watch it for the entertainment value, but that writing in the provide for my family at all costs in the crime scenario is actually pretty trite for me. It's pretty cliche, pretty overused. So I just like to see other more interesting things happen, which does occur in this season. So that occurs there. So White Boy Rob is dead. Peaches, so this is a big development. So there's a coordinated hit on all. Franklin gets shot at with Gustavo and Teddy at an exchange. Jerome, Sissy, Franklin's pregnant girlfriend, Louie, all get shot up at a diner. And Javi, Avi Drexler, he's the arms dealer. So I forgot, he's another main pocket. You have the CIA, you have the drug dealers, and then you have the arms dealer in Avi. And so, I forgot that kind of character. They all get hit simultaneously. So they try to figure out what's going on. Big shootout, no one really gets... Well, Franklin doesn't get shot. Teddy does get shot in the shoulder. Gustavo gets grazed. So, this got, again, another thing that keeps it at a solid B. This is kind of just a weird... It's got a weird scene. But, so, they... all hell breaks loose at the shootout. Once Teddy gets hit, he dips out in the car with all the cocaine and goes to some chick or CIA asset that helps patch him up with no cops and stuff. And she's also playing a role with Teddy throughout the season. But Gustavo and Franklin, return fire. And then once they get away, they have about $3 million in cash in bags in this Mexican neighborhood or Latino neighborhood. So they're running around. They're at a payphone. Again, Jerome got shot up at the same time, so they're all paging each other, trying to get a hold of each other, trying to get picked up. And a group of a Mexican gang comes over, a Latino gang comes over, and it's like, what's in the bag, guys? What's in the bag, guys? And so they realize it's money. They run away from them. they hide in this little, like under this house, just like this little crawl space under a house, and the gang members go away. And so when they come out, they wait, an hour or so, 2 hours or whatever, it's dark out, they come outside of the hole, and they're looking for a house to break into to find a phone. So they break into what they think is an abandoned house. Turns out there's this old white dude there. He shoots them both with tranquilizer darts and puts them in a cage for a tiger to eat. This isn't just like a neighborhood in LA. So it's like, who's going to have a wild tiger? I doubt that's legal by the city ordinances. And so it's just kind of strange. And it got even stranger because it's like, Gustavo ties his belt, so they're in a cage where it's separated by this big metal grate, and the guy from the outside can open it up so the lion can go eat them. And the lion's clearly CGI. So Gustavo ties his belt so like the gate can't open. The guy gets on top of the gate to try to cut the rope. Gustavo hits the cage, and the guy falls into the thing, and the tiger rips off his leg, and he bleeds to death. And then they're able to get the keys from the leg that fell down. So again, I like the over-characterization again of the gangbangers, the hitmen, like Man Boy. Oh, and Scully is also in this season as well. I forgot him. He was another major dealer. But Man Boy was killed in the previous seasons, but just the way he was talking and the way Franklin talks, the way Jerome talks and dresses, I think is very well done. But then just have this like weird lion eating a leg scene, I thought it was just off. I thought it was just off for the overall tone of the piece or of the show. So that was kind of a strange scene, but they break out of there, they get the money, and then they get stuck up again by the same Mexican dudes that come back. So the Mexican dudes, they think they're free, they have this run-in with this white dude, and they get picked up again. And so Gustavo and Franklin are both tied up, and then Franklin's like, once we tell them where the money is, we're gonna die. So Franklin's like, I'll take you to the money, takes them back to the house with the tiger, which again, the tiger could have easily attacked Franklin, but the tiger kills one of the dudes, or I think kills one of the dudes, and then either distracts the other guy, or Franklin kills both of them, but those two dudes get eaten by the tiger or killed by Franklin. Franklin goes back to the Mexican place with all of his muscle and rescue Gustavo. Remember, Franklin and Gustavo do drug deals together, but they're really not like on the same side, so this is like Gustavo didn't know if Franklin was going to save him, and Franklin didn't know if Gustavo was going to save him previously. And so I think that was when, later in the season, Gustavo references he's saved Franklin before, and I think that was when he got shot as well. Like in the previous season, Franklin gets shot, not this one. So then they all link up, and they realize, and then that's when you figure out who sent the simultaneous hits, and it was Peaches. So Peaches was at the scene when he kills White Rob, and you learn that Peaches was also on the needle. So Peaches, who was Franklin's right-hand guy kind of thing, calls in sick on the day of the hits. They go back to where all the money is, or where Franklin has $10 million that he hasn't got taken to Panama yet, and all the money's cleared out, and Peaches is long gone. So Peaches isn't killed, but he is out of the scene. He dips out, and he had the hit set up with an OG named Kane Hamilton. So I don't really remember his character development through the show. But he's got beef with Franklin about killing his little brother over some beef with Leon. And so throughout the season, Leon's in the apartments or in the projects, to sell them, keeping business going. And at the end of season 3 or 4, Leon was kind of wanting to get out of the game. That doesn't really seem to come back up again because he seems wanting to go to war. They get raided one time by the cops, and Leon's ready to go to Avi to get the RPGs and the special weapons. So it seems to have died out from season 4 to 5 of Leon wanting to stop. But they learned about the Kane Hamilton who was out of the pen. So Franklin and Leon tried to just be like, hey man, we shouldn't beef and continue to kill each other. And Kane agrees to sell from buying from Franklin, putting food on the table. But then Louis puts a hit on Kane anyway. And so basically Louis has a cop that she works with. I believe it's Cop Kevin. I think Kevin is the cop, but that was the character I couldn't match up on the cast list. But so Cop Kevin's been getting some cocaine from Louis. He wants somebody to serve up at the beginning of the season. I don't really know if that develops into anything, or if I'm just forgetting it. But regardless, Louis offers $100,000 to Cop Kevin to kill to kill Kane. And so Cop Kevin does that. He goes in there with his group of people and just starts shooting a bunch of people. Kane doesn't die. Three of Kane's men die. Kane doesn't. He's in the hospital, and Cop Kevin's partner gets killed. And so Cop Kevin's police career is on the line as he comes back at Louis for that. So there might be further development. Not really sure. And so the hit from Kane was a big deal. And then towards the end of the season, what do we have going on? So basically, Louis makes a power play. And at the very beginning of the show, Jerome didn't want to be in the cocaine business at all. Now he's fully in. Louis did want to get in there, kind of when Franklin was at the very beginning. Now Louis goes to Teddy herself and says, I want to buy directly from you and not from Franklin. And so Teddy agrees to that. Franklin gets upset about that and says he's out of the game. And then the next morning, shakes his hand with Teddy. And Teddy's the real antagonist of this whole show. He's kind of like everyone's boss. He's got CIA bosses, but he's the plug. He kills Alton. Alton Sane was killed in season 4. It's never officially confirmed, but everyone pretty much knows. I mean, as the viewer, you see Teddy go into the room with Alton, but the characters of the show are not explicitly aware. But everyone they openly say, without confirmation, that's what occurred. So Teddy's really the antagonist, or I would say the characterization of the bad guy throughout the season. Because again, he's just doing it for the good of country, and he's more aggressive, or as aggressive as all of the drug dealers as well. And so Teddy agrees to sell to Louis. Franklin doesn't like that, quits, wakes up the next day, and Teddy has seized $73 million of all of Franklin's money. So again, Franklin's trying to go legit through real estate, that's an always, if I'm watching a crime show, I just want to watch people do the crimes. So they're always trying to get out of the game. It's just like, this is a crime show, let's do more crimes. But, so he has this bid, and he bought this big real estate property, and now basically he's in debt, and all of his money is taken, and he can't seize it back. So now he just wants to torture and kill Teddy. Teddy won't return his calls, basically go buy from Louis now. So one comment, Franklin's out of the game, goes to Louis, pulls a gun on Louis. Louis has some protection, pulls a gun on Franklin. And so Louis is like, next time I see you, Franklin, I'll kill you. But out of respect for Jerome, I'll let you go this time. So now, then, Sissy Saint, and also the episode that was really off-putting to me was the LSD episode. Basically, Sissy Saint comes back from Cuba, and she has connections to the KGB, and she's having some guy, the whole season she wants to kill Teddy, but it's not like nothing really much occurs of it. But Louis and Jerome get married this season, and it's either episode 7 or 8, but it's just the wedding, and the CIA or the KGB dudes put LSD into these chocolates, and so everybody's tripping. And then just the characterizations of tripping to me is just out there. Might be historically accurate again with the MK Ultra being at about the same time or a couple of years later. This being set in the 80s, but again, just seeing that episode where Franklin's having visions. You don't have visions. You're just aware of the things that are around you in your environment anyway. And so just the characterizations of a trip of LSD is just not accurate scientifically or behaviorally to me. And again, people say, I saw extra dimensions and elves, and no, you didn't. You're just trying to describe the world around you and you can't speak properly. So that episode, again, not as in oh my gosh, that offended me. I just thought it was an offshoot of where the show and the tone was at currently from episode 6 or whatever. So that was a detracting episode from the season as well, keeping it a solid B+. But during that, Sissy gets some information about Gustavo and Teddy, but she wants to kill Teddy the whole time. But after that interaction with Louis, Franklin robs Louis and Jerome, kills 4 of their men, steals their stuff, and his main muscle this season are stick-up chicks. And so there's those kind of characterizations. That's what I'm talking about. It's they're overdone, and I think in a way that benefits the show. So I thought that was fine, but he steals the stuff back from Louis and Jerome, and basically you're not sure where Sissy Saint's going to stand on it because she is Jerome's sister, and basically she's if you really want to go after Teddy and Reed, I'm all the way in, I'm on your side type of deal. And so the plot development that I liked, again, as opposed to getting out of the game, the family fractures, and now they're all going to be warring at each other. And I just think that's a good development. That's something not super over, or not super trite, not super, again, trying to get out of the game. Ozark, Mayans, well, not even really Mayans, but Ozark, we got to get out. If you're going to get into a huge drug operation, you're probably not going to get out. So this is kind of redundant. But I thought the fracturing the family, making them go against each other, I think that would do well for the development of season 6. So anything else really development with Wanda? She's getting clean this season. She works as a sex operator hotline person for a while, then works at the real estate office that is run by V, whoever, I forget the actress's name. Franklin calls her V. See if I can find her. So that's really it. The season ends on, Franklin ready to go to war. Sissy saying she's got KGB operatives. Avi gets killed this season as well. He gets tortured by some Russians. So again, I'm not sure if it's the same KGB as Sissy's contact from Cuba. And then Franklin goes into the hospital and tells Kane, the OG that almost died, that Louis was the one that sent the hit. So Franklin's fully gunning for Louis. Louis fully gunning for Franklin. You don't really know where Jerome stands. Sissy's on Franklin's side. Did anybody else die? Parissa's this chick that runs around with Teddy, I believe, and she kind of gets picked up by... There's some other KGB operative and Teddy run into each other, and then Parissa disappears, so something's going on there. And Leon and Wanda basically get away for a while, and Leon says if he's out of the game, Franklin's out of the game. But now Franklin's got to get back in the game because he just got $73 million siphoned off from him. So that's really where the season ends up. Don't really think there's any other major developments. If there are, I didn't write anything down. So again, thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the tiger, the lion eating the leg, that interaction was kind of just off of the tone of the show, as well as the LSD episode, keeping it at a solid B+. So again, thoroughly enjoyed it. Again, there's a unique kind of tone, flavor, cinematography, presentation to this show. Again, trying to represent the 80s. Jerome's outfits are always fantastic. And I like the banter, I like the dialogue, I like the writing as well. So overall, B+, highly entertaining. So thank you for watching my review of Snowfall Season 5. See you in the next one.